200 schools offered our next guest a basketball scholarship, but he turned them down to sign with the Houston Astros. Before it was all over, he was one of the premier pitchers of the day, leading the National League in a number of categories. His new book shows how quickly someone can be hitting a home run one minute and striking out the next. A series of events left him homeless and destitute. Here to share some valuable lessons in the game of life, please welcome former Astros pitcher and the author of Still Throwing Heat, J.R. Richard, along with attorney Victor Makris. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, man.
This book has so many messages in it, and that kind of that thing that in America we can have second chances. But let's kind of back up a little bit. Were you the kid who played sports because you loved sports, or you just happened to be that kid who was big and tall and it was something to do?
Well, it was active, and I always been active, and it was just something I needed to do because there wasn't anything else to do in high school. So
yeah,
I just played sports because it was something to do, and they get you.
Yeah, but he was 6'8" by the time he was a senior in high school.
Yeah, and it also gets you the girls, so you became popular.
You knew how to play some other games right there. Right? And it is the stuff that dreams are made of. There were so many young kids and so many people who would love to make those teams. So in high school, especially with baseball, you had some choices. You could go off and play in college. You have 200 schools, more than 200 schools saying, hey, you want basketball, you want baseball. How tough of a decision was that to make, to go ahead and jump into the majors?
Matter of fact, it wasn't tough at all, Deborah. Signing bonus.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, as a high school kid.
Yeah, cleared up everything at that point in time, yes. That was the main reason I went in baseball, because of the signing bonus.
Yeah, and you were in baseball at a little bit different time. We were kind of like, making it work in terms of we saw more and more minorities, but as a pitcher was a little different as well. And so you put out your best. In the beginning, struggled a little bit because that's the way it is. You're getting introduced to the big boys, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, you just took off.
Well, see, Deborah, you know what? God don't make mistakes. Everything has a timing, and it's a process you go through.
So you grew up a little bit, and you're on top of the world, and this is one of the lessons in your book, is that you can seemingly have it all, and then something can throw you that curveball, and that curveball for you before the age of 30, right? So you're an athlete. You're the picture of health, and what happens?
Stroke. Matter of fact, looking at the statistics, I didn't have one stroke, I had 3 strokes.
Wow. Something completely out of the blue for you?
Totally. But that goes to say that any one of us can have a illness in the family. Your kid or your mother, father, whoever, or your relative might go in the hospital, they deplete your savings, they lay you off on your job. You got to find something to do because of the stress and stuff. You find yourself homeless in a minute.
Yeah, and then that's what happened with you.
Yes.
How did you possibly handle that? Because you have one life in your head, and yet you're under a bridge with a group of homeless people. And I got to tell you, one thing, I spent 2 weeks on the street with the homeless, living on the street as a story years ago as a reporter. The smartest people you'll find can be under that bridge.
So they're totally bona fide survivors.
Yeah.
And it isn't. And see, one thing that I enjoyed about the streets is that, well, I got a chance to really meet God and know Him face to face as a person. Because once I used to profess God, but not possess God. Now I possess God, and I profess God.
Yeah, because it'll strip everything from you, all the distractions out of the way, and all you got is your faith.
Yeah, because He just wants to get you out, as you were saying, get you out of the way, get all your so-called friends out of your face, et cetera, and so just you and Him.
Yeah. And Victor, this is a story, as unique as it is, we see parts of this played out over and over again, not only with athletes who, again, on top of the world and then find this, but everyday Americans as well. And that's one of the things you kind of help people as a lawyer to negotiate.
Exactly. We practice predominantly in the area of Social Security disability, and we find that episodes of that type are usually preceded by either a severe physical or mental illness. And that creates a domino effect where a person can find themselves in that situation.
Yeah, what great lesson do you see that can be taught in this book? As I mentioned, there are several, but from your perspective.
What I see is 2 things. First, that somebody of very high stature, they're on top of the world, can fall to the great depths, but by the same token, it's a testament to our country, where we have the economy, we have the social structure, somebody who really wants to come back and wants to do good can do so.
Yeah, but you have to access it. How did you access that? Because for a while on the streets there's a great divide, we think.
First of all, what I done is, okay then, Now, the God I know doesn't want me like this. He don't want me out here in the street because he didn't design me or make me to be out here in the street. So, in other words, I would try to cut across the field. I just come up with a different mindset that I wanted to get out from under the bridge. And when you start thinking positive things happen to you.
Right.
And a friend of mine came along that night. As a matter of fact, I was getting
And by the way, where were the friends? Where were those people who I'm sure were in the stands clapping and rallying around you when you were playing?
See, let me tell you something. They said, beware the handshake that had the snake. And you got to remember, a smile is nothing but a frown turned upside down. So beware of the people. So a lot of people say your friends are not your friends, and I'm sure you may or may not go through the same thing.
Well, yeah, I actually have some people. One woman was claiming I'm her daughter. I'm like, I don't know you.
But you know, sometimes it's best to just get some new friends.
Yeah.
Just completely new friends, because if they're not going in the same direction you going, it's time for you to change.
Yeah.
And you can't change people, you can only change yourself.
You made the connection. You ended up back in church where you said and you got surrounded by those people who really were there to lift you up.
Yes.
You got remarried. Your wife Lula is with us today, but you also received a star on Astro's Walk of Fame.
Yes.
So what did that feel like, that the fact that you had walked through, which, you know, sometimes you may feel like there was a walk of shame, now you're walking through that Walk of Fame, again, having that second chance?
Well, that was an honor to be recognized as such, as once in your life you was important. But that's their feelings, because I think I'm still important.
You're still important.
I'm still important.
And one of the things that makes, I think, us important are our series of experiences. Sometimes we think if we have faith and we believe in God that life's supposed to be perfect and right. Life is about learning things.
Right.
Would you trade that experience under the overpass for anything?
No, I wouldn't, because it have made me a better person, as individually speaking. It has made me a much better person.
Yeah.
And it makes you that life is worth living. See, a lot of people don't understand. The Bible says, if you woke up and got up this morning, you have no complaints. And you have nothing to complain about.
Yeah. That's an amen. And Victor, you want people to know there is help out there to connect the dots so that you can get whatever help is available for you.
Definitely. If the network is out there, both on the federal and the state level, to help someone out who's gotten to this situation.
Yeah, but it's so tough when you're like just struggling to find your next meal or survive. It's so tough sometimes to focus on getting that help.
The important thing is to take the first step towards that, and you just keep taking the next step and the next step.
Yeah. All right, JR, thank you very much for joining us.
If I may interject this, whatever you want in life, God has already put it in you. But it's up to you to get it out of there.
All right, that's a home run right there. JR's book, Still Throwing Heat, is out now. For more information, you can log on to our site, greatdayhouston.com.